Hello everyone, and welcome back to Conquest, where today we are going after the first extreme sector. Well, at least I think. I haven't really been paying attention to the sector difficulty because this entire planet is difficult anyways. I think we are going to go after Furnace Settlement. The enemy has created an extremely powerful base here. Furthermore, the enemy is deploying forces from 2 drop zones at the same time. Some of their most powerful guardians have been ordered to put a stop to your campaign. Venture into the creation of Draysten, bring down the enemy waves, and destroy their massive base. Now, this is the next campaign sector, and we do have a whole bunch of non-campaign sectors to attack, but since the V8 betas are coming out, I'd like to at least get the campaign of Asthosus done before that happens, just in case it comes out sooner than I think it will. Well, no point waiting around. Let's get to it. Alrighty, we have instantly spawned in with 4 lodestone mixers, 4 lithium grinders, a decent amount of ferronite and dematite, and a decent amount of starting resources. So this leads me to believe this is going to be very, very strong. Oh god. Okay, so what are we dealing with here? The enemy looks like they are coming from 2 places. One of them is right there, the other one is right there. So it looks like we are kind of bottlenecked into here. And the only way to access sand is to push outwards, which is going to be a bit interesting. But at least we have access to barite and obsidian off rip, which is very good. The only issue we're going to have is, of course, sand and water. I don't even know what we're going to end up doing first because we have the 4 basic resources. So we might just want to instantly rush obsidian just to get that started, and then also instantly rush barite because barite is very good. And then we'll see what happens after that. We could also make Vesmonium, we could also make Crosium, and we probably will end up doing that because I have a feeling this base is going to be quite beefy. So let's just go look at it. And then we start by going over to here. They've got Draysten walls, they've got Concite, they've got... Okay, that's a beefy wall. Looks like they've also got some barrier projectors. They do not appear to be super, large right now. That's probably because their power is not doing so hot. But they've also got a bunch of things that I don't know what this is. What is a Commodite? I don't know. Looks like they've got cargo drones. They've got diffusion reactors with a large amount of solar panels. Okay. They've got a lot of batteries. They've got Draysten crucibles, which we do not have access to yet, but I guess we could go ahead and check that in research if we wanted to. Let's just go ahead and do that. How much does it to make one of these? I do not have enough Vesmonium. That is fine. I will probably unlock this later, again, because I do not want to consume the resources that we already have right now. We got a W. Okay, we got a bunch of barite production. We've got reject and a Trilux and a kinetic propulsor over here. Got another core here. We've got, oh my god, a Verite. Some more Trilux. Dude, these turrets are going to be interesting. Okay, this got me a little concerned. I've never seen half of these. Looks like we've also got some hover bays. We've got a huge Omphalos core surrounded by more of those Verites. We've got, let's see, what do we got down here? We've got a tank bay, and that looks to be just a tier 1, which is a bit interesting. So it's just Shenong, so that's not too bad. We've got another ground one down here, more turrets over here, blah-de-blah-de-blah. So basically, we need to absolutely siege the center of the map. I may even at some point move the defense to cover here and here, so we have access to sand. Right now, we just need to focus on surviving and getting resources. So let's do that. I probably am going to instantaneously upgrade all of the ferronite and dematite, just so we have a whole bunch extra, because that is what I run out of all the time, and then we can upgrade lodestone and lithium once obsidian is done. So let's get to upgrading. Yeah, everyone look away. This is extremely ugly, and I even built it wrong. Oh my god. No one look. No one look. This is so bad. There we go. Okay, there we go. That should be hopefully enough lodestone to last for a little bit. I'm going to go grab some more sand, and then we're going to install some more lithium down here because there's a nice patch of lignite and a vent right there. That should hopefully help us out just a little bit. We are definitely going to want to upgrade our defenses over here because just looking at them, they are not going to hold basically anything. Okay, there we go. Got some more lithium in there. Perfect. What kind of turrets do we have access to right now, and what should we use? We do have Cavalier, and we do have a lot of open space. So maybe a good power setup is in order here. That might be a great idea, but I don't think we can set that up in 49 seconds. So, we could go back to the old Ascendrit with Barite. I really do like using these because they're cheap and effective, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to hold up super well. We could also maybe rush Barite and we get some Instaro and some Syntakes going. I don't know. Also, another thing to mention, Barite walls got a huge price increase. They take longer to build and they have less health now. A bit disappointing, but I think they're still the best wall, so we're going to continue to keep using them. Another thing that I did just notice, we have a nice resource deposit down here. It's right next to the drop zone, but hopefully the enemies will not shoot backwards, and then we can use this to build units, because I have a feeling we're going to be using the entire area up here to make resources. What do we want to do? Do I want to just like spam a bunch of basic turrets over there? I feel like that's got to be the best option, right? Because we got a lot of resources. Okay, so wave 1 is here and it is in 4 minutes and 54, but I also believe that the unit factories are now up and there's a little cargo dude delivering ammo to the Varite. Okay, and yes, these are in fact online, so we do need to get some defenses going. And I'm going to have to manually take all of these guys out because I took out the turret. Oh my god, this was a bad idea on my part. Why did I do this? There is so many enemy already, bro. 9? I just got here. We're not off to a good start. Oh my god, this is so bad. Okay, we should be able to survive for just a little bit now, so we can do something. What is that something? I think it's just going to be instantaneously going for Barite, but we are going to need some power, so let's get some power going. What kind of power do I want to build? The fusion reactors are very good, and they take some pretty easy to get stuff. Now that we actually have solar heater panels, we can probably run a diffusion reactor straight off of heat from solar panels, which I'm fairly certain that's what this giant thing does right here. And I may just kind of steal this schematic. You know what? I think that's a fantastic idea. That is extremely expensive. Let's get some actual power. What kind of power do I need? I don't know. Oh god, dude. Getting power in the early game is so difficult because nothing is ever like worth doing. It takes so much materials just to get basic power down. But we do have a lot of lignite over here, so I might use this for power in the initial. There's even some over here. But once we get some more barite, I might want to slap some big drills down on this and use it to make pumps, but I don't know, whatever. Let's just use this for power right now. Once we get that, that's in place. All good? Cool. Let's get these quarries down. I am going to have to go back to the wall and defend it real quick because the first wave is here. I didn't actually see what it was. Looks like it's just some tier 1s. And since this is a base, I have a feeling the waves are never going to stop. So we are going to have to kind of get this done quickly if we don't want to die. Get that plugged in. Boom, boom, boom. Barite is now acquired. We're going to wait a little bit and then we're going to use barite pumps to cool it because I feel like this is just better in general and less power intensive. We have a lot of radiation reactors down here though. I'm not... Oh. Okay, everything is fine. There's nothing to worry about. Let's get some Crosium because we can. Just kidding. Let's go upgrade the wall. Just kidding. Let's go fix the wall first, and then we can think about upgrading it. What am I going to upgrade to? No idea. If we did have some Crosium, though, we could put in some turrets made out of Crosium. I don't really use these too much because A, they're expensive. Crosium is difficult to come by, and B, the ammo is something I usually don't have over in the defense area. But I feel like having just one, myriad, the one that does, this is just whatever. So maybe we just pump this full of lithium from down here, and then we'll have maybe even some water cooling if I can get to the water down here. But hey, even one myriad would probably be enough. So let's go ahead and get some Crosium. Ha! Water. I don't have water. Dang it! I can't just, get water because enemies come from here, and the water is here. And any way that I go to get water is going to get attacked. Probably I'm just going to have to get a heavily defended water pipe, which, now that I'm thinking about it, isn't actually going to be that difficult. If I let that cook for a little bit, there is a lot of lignite, and the enemies usually don't really want to, travel on a path that they can't access. So if I just wall it off here, like that, the enemies that spawn here are going to want to go this way. This is a stressful sector, and literally nothing's happened yet. All right, so there's our big water line, and since I don't really want to use all this lignite, and it's going to be a nightmare to set up, I think what I'm going to do is just we're just going to kind of dump a bunch of pumps into this lake here. Yeah, there we go. That hopefully will be enough water to supply the entire base. That's the goal, at least. Problem is, this side is probably going to be the weakest, so we are going to have to defend this heavily, but we can just do that by simply chucking in a bunch of walls. Okay, there we go. perfect. We got water, and let's go ahead and get some stuff going. Chromium is up first, because that is kind of what we need at the moment. And another thing that I realized, since we actually have water, we could totally set up some increased lodestone production because it's pretty cheap on the waterfront. Yeah, I think we're going to end up doing that. I forget that the chromium infusers also need power, so we're going to need 450 power per second over here. We're going to have to figure that out as well. We got some lithium. We have everything we need minus pressure, and we need 36 total pressure. And if I remember correctly, this pressure schematic right here makes 18. Of course, I built right where the stupid tree is, and that's like really annoying. All right, we wait for this to get built up, and then we should be pretty good. How are we doing on defenses? It is wave 3. I, again, did not see what enemies spawned in at the actual areas over here, so I think we're doing just fine for now. This wall is getting upgraded the next thing, by the way. After we get chromium, we're getting the turrets in place. Well, I say that, but we need power, and we need lodestone to get the power, so maybe we don't do that first. Boom, there we go. Lodestone basins are in. We are going to get so much more lodestone, we're never going to have to worry about it again. Perfect. Okay, chromium is up next after we fix the wall, because I have a feeling I have been neglecting it. Yeah, and there we have it. Chromium is being deposited. Perfect. I am going to let this build up a little bit, and then I'm going to work on increasing our defense over here. Oh, but also, now that we have our increased lodestone production, what we should do, we should take an overflow from this on all of the sand, and we should run it over to one of these griddles so we can get more efficient water. We might even want to have a second one of these griddles down, you know. How much do these take sand per second? 2, and each one of these makes 2, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so we can run 3 griddles. 1 for cooling for the turrets, and probably 1 over here for the actual chromium. All right, this also needs some pressure, so I am just going to chuck down a large expansion tank, which makes 18 total, but if we half it, because I'm only using 2 solar panels, that'll make 9, which is more than enough for this. That should be water for that. Chromium is now being fully created. Perfect. I think it is now time to upgrade our defense because we now have access to stuff to do so. We're going to probably cut out the majority of this. We're going to rework this wall, but even a single myriad would probably be enough to deal with most of the threats that make it further than that. So let's put it right here. Defend it with some barite, or maybe even chromium. Let's do chromium. And we can put down another griddle right here, get some sand going as well, and get a large expansion tank as well. Okay, there we go. I also took half off of the chromium line here, so half it will go into this turret. Hopefully it won't eat too much because we do have a couple of other turrets up here to, you know, soften up the enemies before they get back here, but that myriad should hold us out for a good long while. Okay. Now I think it's time to focus on getting other productions up and running. We're going to need to get more barite because this is obviously not enough. We have 1,100, but I would like to have some more. Plus, we've got a bunch of the radiation tiles over here we can use to make radiation reactors, which can each power an abrasion quarry in and of itself. That should hopefully be enough to make a whole bunch. We do also have liquid barite, but again, I don't know if that's going to be worth doing. Yeah, we also need water, and I don't really have a good way to get water. I mean, we have a lot of water being made, but like, I don't know. It's, I could do it. You know what? I think it's going to be better just to do the radiation reactors. All right, so we should be making a little less than 6 barite per second now. Probably going to be plenty fine. Okay, we are also getting a decent amount of chromium. Everything's going pretty well. Vesmonium. We could make some. We have some lignite somewhere. There's some here, but that might be used for making, you know, lithium for units. We don't have a whole lot of more of it, which kind of sucks. Although we could swap out this lithium just to steal that, and then we could turn this lithium into the upgraded version because we do have chromium now. And then we could use that lignite plus this down here to get some vesmonium. Should we do that? Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, there we go. Lithium has been upgraded. We are now making 8 per second. A Guardian is approaching in 10 waves, which means we need to lock in. Okay, so let's go repair the defense and probably work on getting a upgraded version going because we desperately need it. Lithium's been upgraded. We are going to get some vesmonium with the lignite over here. So let's go ahead and do that. We also no longer need all of this because we got that replaced with the better system over here. Okay, let's just chop this all out. We can reuse this line to make vesmonium, as a matter of fact. So let's go ahead and do that. Chop, chop, chop. Get rid of all of this. And we are going to need to get as much of this as possible. I think that's probably going to be about as good as I can get. I have no idea the amount. I'm honestly just going to shove as much whatever as I can into this problem. Now, this is going to take a stupid amount of lignite, a stupid amount of barite, and a stupid amount of pressure, and a little bit of liquid barite, which is good because we literally placed it on top of some. I think it might be time to make some liquid barite, and just for the reason of dumping it into the Vesmonium accumulator, or a culter, whatever. And there we have it. We are now making some barite. Now all we need to do is get power and pressure into there. Pressure is not going to be too bad because we only need 6. But since it's overclocked, I have no idea how much we're going to need, so we're going to dump in 2 vents worth. And eventually we're going to come over here and we're going to discover that something is running low, and we're going to upgrade it accordingly. There goes pressure. Now all we need is power. I don't know how much this thing takes, nor do I really care. How much do you take? 240, that's 2 radiation reactors. There's one right here, and there should be one right here. Okay, cool. We do actually have enough power to run this, which is a miracle. Did not expect that. Okay, we do have a little bit of Vesmonium, which we'll probably use to make a single Tralux with a bunch of power, because these things are probably extremely good. Now, we get to do the fun part of upgrading the entire defense. How are we going to do this? I don't know. Let's get some power before we do so, though, because that would, let us build menders and things, which is probably important. How are we going to get power in this very limited amount of space that we have left? Well, we are going to set up that good old diffusion reactor, because we might as well. Hopefully, I saved enough vents to, actually do this. This thing is huge! Oh my god, I don't even have room. Ooh, I did not think of this. That is way bigger than I thought. Where are we going to put this? We may have to move the lithium here. Yes, let's do that. Okay, there we go. Lithium has been moved. Now we hopefully have a bunch of space cleared out to actually slap this thing down. Do we have the space? Just barely. Boom. Okay, and we're going to cut this out. We're going to replace that solar panel right there, and we're going to be sitting here building for the next 15 to 20 minutes. In that time, I guess I can go ahead and plan out the diffusion reactors. Each one of these takes 12 silicon tetrafluoride, so we are going to need 3 vents worth, because I believe one of the geothermal accumulators creates 15. That is correct. So we will have an extra 9. Plus we are going to make nitrogen, which I believe right here. Nitrogen takes in 1 second of obsidian, some water, some pressure, and makes 12 nitrogen per second. So we technically need 2 of them, which is going to put a hindrance on our obsidian production, but with an additional 55% enhancement from a vent, I don't know. That's not going to be enough to make 24, so let's just not deal with that. We're just going to need 2 of them. Okay, now do we have the obsidian to do that? There is some right there. I believe I can squeeze out enough from that. Perfect. Now the nearest water line is right there. We can probably put this over here, or we can put it over here. I'm just going to put them both right here, and we can make pressure up here. Okay, 3 vents of that, 2 for the nitrogen. That should be pretty fine. Let's just get this built. Okay, we are back, just locked in there, and got this entire thing basically built up. There's 20 enemies left. The wall is doing just fine. We got some tier 2s rocking in now. Not too bad, not the end of the world. They haven't even really done too much damage, but we are going to need to get our defense upgraded soon. Good thing we've got 6,000 power going, just about. We're never going to have to worry about that again. Nitrogen should be coming in just fine. It looks like we are slightly cooking on the waterfront, but that's because these things use only 6 per second. Why are we not getting a whole lot of water? I have no idea. Looks like those also got blown up at some point. Good thing I don't really care too much. This is getting replaced soon anyways. All right, well, after we get this in, I'm going to start upgrading our defense. We are going to probably use a bunch of power turrets. Cavalier, we're going to use a couple of the Tralux, just because we can. And you know what? I think it's about time that we learn the Draysten Crucible. We do have the Vesmonium for it, so let's go ahead and get that unlocked. Now, what do we actually need to make this stuff? Hopefully not a lot of stuff. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Wow. Okay. Vesmonium is required to make Draysten. Draysten is probably going to be the thing that I use the least of. 360 power, a little bit of Vesmonium, and 12 nitrogen per second. Yeesh. That's a lot. Okay, well, luckily we have an extra obsidian being created for the stuff that is used for these nitrogen synthesizers. So we could do that. Heat can come from solar panels, and we can just take a little bit of our Vesmonium because it only takes 1/3 per second and only generates 1/3 per second. And honestly, this is probably going to be the most expensive thing ever, so we are going to set up one of these factories jankily and call it good, because I don't think it's going to be viable to do it any other way. So let's go ahead and grab some obsidian from here and start running it down. Now, the funny thing about this entire sector is, yet again, I'm spending all of my time on infrastructure, and we have not even started to push the base yet, which is a problem. So if a tier 5 shows up, I'm just going to hope that I have enough infrastructure and defense to take care of it instead of the other way to fight this sector, which is to destroy the base before it gets here. Let's go ahead and put it right here. Why not? Alright, there we go. I think we actually have this thing plugged in. Is this making nitrogen? No, because we did not plug the nitrogen in. Is that fine? I don't know. Let's plug that into that. That goes into there. Boom, boom, boom. That is the coolest animation I have seen, and we have unlocked Draysten and unlocked a new sector. Let's go take a look what it is. Bioweapon facility. Cool. And there we go. Let's get that into the core, and we can probably unlock a whole bunch of new research. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tree. What do we got? A Draysten wall. What do you do? Slows down enemies in its vicinity, requires and conducts power. Oh, it needs power? Bro, what? I ain't... Okay, so a wall that takes power. We have a Draysten destabilizer. Uses fission power to split Draysten, allowing for extreme power outputs. Requires heavy cooling to prevent explosions. 120 water. 1 Draysten every 7 seconds, but generates 6,750 power. So a single Draysten destabilizer can output more power than this entire thing right here. That's insane. Wow. Why is there logic chips? Boom 1. These can blow up. Oh, whoever put these logic chips here, thank you very much for that, because otherwise that would be bad. And let's see, what else we got? We probably got some new turrets. Yep, the Verite turret, long range, high precision turret, fires piercing rounds at enemies, requires pressure. This is, oh my god, that damage is insane. 375, 450, 600. Whoo! Okay, that is a turret. We also have a Commodite. Vesmonium or Draysten as ammo to fire fast-paced volleys of missiles. Oh, this is a missile launcher. Oh, cool. And we have a Project, powerful turret that launches artillery shells over long distances which explode violently on hit and requires pressure. 504 damage, 532 damage, 588 damage. These are the endgame turrets, which is not looking good for me, because they've got some over here. We got Commodites right there. Okay, well, we are probably going to get obliterated when we try to push up against this defense here. All right, well, that's going to be a problem. We're definitely going to have to make some tier 4s in this sector, because otherwise I don't think we're going to be able to beat it. All right, what else we got down here? Probably the last assembler constituent. Yep, makes it to tier 4 so we can make tier 5s. We've got the assembler, cool beans, and that looks to be just about it. Okay, I think we are going to mass produce tier 4s as our unit of choice. Which one? I'm not sure. Let's just go ahead and take a look in the database here and see what we got to work with. We can make the elucidates. These are the healers, technically. They don't take too much, but I don't really want to use those for attacking. We could also make the Taquant, the air guys, slow-moving, high-damage balls of lightning, small missiles, cannot cross terrain. I feel like this might be a good option, although 140 Chrozium to craft one is kind of ridiculous. What else we got? Aphalops, 120 Chrozium again. I'm not sure. I might just want to go for Apex because they are cheaper on the Chrozium front. So I think that's probably what we're going to end up doing. Cool. That's going to take a lot of crafting, and that's probably about time that we got that going. So yeah, let's go ahead and start making some units. We are going to go down here because there is plenty of space to work with and plenty of resources as well. And let's see what we can make here. We probably should not do that. Let's build defenses first. Let's get a really good one set up. That also gives up an opportunity to build up some Draysten and some Vesmonium to use for various other things. Trying to think here. How do I want to set this up? We're going to have to build a double layered defense. Or we could do this, but again, sand. I could build like something here. You know what? Let's try that. Let's do like wall goes like this and like that. And then over here we could do something that goes like this. And also, since we're going to build the left side first, I'm going to go ahead and wall it off over here. Can I build this close? I can. Perfect. So I'm going to build it like this so they don't want to go this way and they will only go down here. And then hopefully that will be the best thing. Oh, and that's going to shoot out my... Oh my god, did you see those missiles, dude? Holy! Right, okay, well, that's not good. How are we gonna deal with that? No idea. Although it does look like they shoot pretty quickly, and we might be able to just drain the ammo, because this uses Draysten. They have had like 8 waves to build up, you know, resources, but maybe we could drain that. But let's not deal with that right now. Can I build a wall here without the enemies attacking it? No, so they are going to want to go around this way while I'm building this. That's too bad. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, whatever. Let's just get to build this. Stop yapping. Wall time. Alrighty, we are back. We've got 5 waves to go before the Guardian gets here, and this is our current defense right now. Cavalier spam. We've got some Trailux in the back as well, and we will be putting some more turrets up like Myriad, cooled with water, because we have a plenty of it down here. We are also going to need to beef up this wall over here. I may even just put in a defense over here. I'm not really sure. As you can see, I also went ahead and tried to use some of these projector walls. I'm not sure if I like these too much. You can't regenerate the shield on them. But anyways, we got the pretty decent defense here. I think I'm also going to go ahead and chuck another Trailux over here, just in case they decide they want to go this way. I doubt they will, but just in case. All we need to do now is, of course, just keep building. We do have 5 waves to go, and I would like to get the defense up and running before then. Again, the philosophy in this sector, if I can get a defense that can withstand anything, it is only a matter of time before I can destroy the enemy core. And that's kind of what we're going with right now. I'm also going to have to chuck in a huge battery bank. I'll probably do that like all the way back here, maybe even in this area right here, because there's not a whole lot going over there, so we can store up some power, because these power turrets, they do take a lot, and especially if all of them are shooting at the same time, that is a lot of power being drawn. Also, we are up to a solid 250 some Draysten, which is decent, but also not good, because that stuff is rather expensive. Let me get the rest of this wall in place. This should hold for at least a little bit, then we can start building up some units, and then we can come back to the wall and beef it up a little bit more, especially when that boss is about to get here. And there we have it. Wall is finished for now. We will eventually throw in some extra turrets, but I think we are pretty good for the time being. Now, I think it's time to get some units. Although we could also keep building the defense. We got a decent amount of time. Let's get some units started. I think we're just going to go for Apex, by the way. I think that's probably going to be our best option. Mostly because they are decently quick, they do a lot of damage, and I think they look pretty cool. I mean, to be fair, everything here looks pretty cool, but we're just going to go with mechs today. Another thing to note that I've never used, if you plug these into power, you can use them as an input source for here, making things, you know, less compact, which I might end up doing because this is probably going to end up looking pretty compacted. And also, we're going to have to get some barite for this. Hopefully not a whole lot. It takes 145 seconds to construct one of these, so we need 400 barite in 145 seconds. So that is a little less than 3 barite per second. That is actually not too bad. Now this may look a little weird, but this is going to be our barite wall production, and there will be 10 walls sitting on the conveyor, so we will not have to wait for walls to actually be constructed. Instead, it'll just go straight in. I think that's going to be the best option here. And there we go. So this will be the one that makes barite walls. We're going to need 3 per second. I think a single barite cooler makes 0.66, so we need 6 of them, which is a lot. Or we could try to get some of the drills going, which might even be a better idea. These do take 600 power. Or no, 300. Okay, so that's actually not too bad. That'll take 300 power, and this will be exactly enough to run a single quern, which will make us 2, which is perfect. So then we can just use 2 of the coolers, and then that will supply us with everything we need. How are we going to power this, you may ask? Well, put it simply, we have a generator that makes 6,000 power, and we are going to use that. Well, I think now it is just about time to get some huge conveyor lines running over here, get some extra resources being produced over here, and start building up some Apex. Alright, and we are finally back and constructing some Apex. Let's set them to go over there, and I believe the first one is currently being built. Cool. Now, we also have about 10 seconds before the enemies start showing up, so we probably should go over there and start getting some more turrets down. And I'm going to throw in some more Myriad, and I'm probably going to water cool them as well, although I'm not really sure. But let's just go ahead and get some ammo over there first. Oh, we have one wave. Oh, this is actually very much good. What? Having one wave to go is pretty good because we do have a little bit of time to get some of these turrets set up, which is exactly what we're going to do. Shove in some small Crosium walls in the back here just to make sure that we have a little bit of extra defense just in case, and then we're going to shove in a ton of Myriad. Now, Myriad look to be the best of both worlds. Homing and fragging missiles at enemies applies shock status, and since these are all also providing shock status, we might want to get some billow over here to start chucking water at everyone to make them wet, because that would actually increase DPS. So we probably will actually end up doing that. So yeah, actually, let's do that. And there we go. That should be all of these filled up. Now, I would like to do the same thing on the top here, although I don't know how many of these I can actually fit in. I mean, I guess we could do 4, but let's wait on that. Instead, let's go ahead and do this on the other side down here. And also, we probably should beef up our wall over here because it is currently just yeah, that is what stands between us and the enemies, just like bypassing our entire defense. So let's first off cancel that and instead override the walls. Unfortunately, it looks like barite is in fact a turret, and we cannot override walls with it, but that's okay. All right, there we go. We got one of them down here, and let's go ahead and chuck in a couple more kind of up here. Let's, again, not forget to wall this off, just have a little bit of extra layers of defense. And we'll chuck in a couple more along this line right here. And there we have our Guardian. And it looks like there's another one in 5 waves. What are they is the question. Okay, we have a tier 5 air, and that was shooting at my water supply. Great, we're gonna have to go fix that. Okay, what else we got up here? Another tier 5 air? Yes, we do. I probably should figure out what these are actually called. Hopefully it decides not to blow up my barite walls. Ooh, maybe it will. Oh, it literally cut open away that way. Good thing I'm building this wall. Jeez, okay, we're gonna have to do a lot of repairing after every single boss. Great. All right, well, how fast is the thing getting smoked? Oh. Ow. Okay. Yeah, big up these turrets. Golly, those things got smoked. I mean, we lost a decent amount of walls here, but holy! You know what we also could do? We could get some research done. Now, what should we get is the question. We could get one of the turrets. What does this one do? The Varite long-range high precision with Crosium also does a decent amount of damage with frag bullets. So you know what? Let's go ahead and unlock the Varite, and we can place one of those in, assuming I can actually build it. Oh my god, look at the range on this thing. This is going all the way back here, because I don't want it to be, you know, activated all the time, because, geez, that range is massive. You can barely even see it. All right, yeah, there we go. We have a Varite now. I want to shoot this thing. Ooh! Did you hear that noise? All right, I like this thing. Now, another thing to note, this thing's got some insane range. So you think we can outrange this? Oh, we thought of that. Boo. All right, fine. I guess we will have to push up with our guys. All right, we do have 4 of them, and I think that might be enough to push up. Up here, we've got some Concite. These are the area splash damage guys. We also have some Trailux. Which ones are these? Oh, yes, these are the powered ones. And then we've also got Verite, which is the sniper one that I just used. We've also got a couple in Starro, but once we get up here, it should be pretty easy just to walk through this. I think this has got to be the least defended side, so we're probably going to go with this. I don't know if even 4 of the big dudes is going to be enough, but we're going to hope. And then if they do make it through, we've got, you know, a couple of things over here to take care of, no big deal. We've got a project down here. We got another Tralux. Which one is the project? Oh, yeah, this is the artillery shell one. Okay, that's not too bad. And then we should be able to march down here and clean this out. And then, hopefully, once we get to here, the turrets over here will not be able to see us. I don't know how big the range of the Commodite is, but we may be able to walk over here and just start rampaging through some of the infrastructure here. If that is the case, then we can start draining some of this. We can go all the way over around, blow up some batteries, get this core down, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think we're going to last that long. So let's just go ahead and get these guys out and into the fight. And I guess there is quite literally nothing else for me to do other than increase production of various resources. I could upgrade my core. Ooh, yeah, let's do that. Let's get Omphalos. There we go. Perfect. And now we got this guy. Nice. Which hopefully my build speed is now also increased, and then I can, you know, chuck in a couple more turrets over here, because we might as well. Alrighty, well, we got our 4 Apex over here, so let's just get them going over to this way. We do have 30 seconds till the next wave gets here, so we may get caught up in that, or maybe not. Not really sure. We also could try to out-snipe some of these turrets by, you know, just marching up our guy right here and see if we can actually hit the Instaro. I doubt it, but it might be worth a shot. So you know what? Matter of fact, let's have them go up here, get out of the line of sight of any of the big turrets, out of the units that are going to be showing up, and then we can see what we can do here. All right, let's see what we can do here. I don't think I'll be able to hit. Oh, maybe. It'll be really close. If I get up right here, can I hit? Ooh, okay. Oh my god, they've been in sniper range this entire time. I've already lost 2 of them. Okay. Great. Let's go ahead and replace them because we do have 2 more. We're going to have to be very wary of that. Get those guys healed up, but okay. We may want to try to bait out the shots of this thing by building buildings, because then even if we take 1 hit away from these guys, that's still going to be perfect. All right, well, I have another one over here, and I set the factory to actually have them march over. The batteries are not even done yet. We ran out of Dematite, so we're waiting for more of that to generate. But we've got 5 of them ready to go, so let's try to avoid sending them into the line of fire. If I send them over here, they hopefully shouldn't get in range of this thing. Yeah, they should be fine, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to build a couple of walls just kind of scattered throughout the place to start taking up some of those shots. And there we go. Okay, so that should hopefully tank for that. So let's get these guys moving up now. And we're just going to run headfirst at the wall because that's honestly the best way to go about this. Okay, it is now targeting my guys, and that's not good, so hopefully it can target me instead. There we go. Perfect. And I'm going to try to get them to do the same thing. Shoot at me, not them. How are we doing? Oh my god, the missile launcher is going. We are making some decent dents, though. Okay, we got 2 of the projector walls down, and then we got obliterated. And that is going to heal up, and we are going to lose all of the progress that we have because of that. Fantastic. We got all of the mines gone, except for a couple up here. We got 2 walls down and some force fields. So that's not terrible. We are going to have to make another big push, and we're probably going to need more than 4 units to do so, which is not super great, but that's fine. Yeah, okay, I have a feeling we're gonna be here for a little while. Luckily, we can, in fact, survive bosses that show up, so I think it is literally just a matter of time before we're able to push through. There we go. I'm just going to build some batteries and probably cut back to when that actually happens, because, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit. All right, well, we are back for a little bit. It is now wave 20. We've got 4 more guys built up with probably another one on the way. Well, it's almost being constructed. I am looking into making a Taquant factory, 150-second build time with this materials right here. This is going really slow, and we're probably going to need some more advanced turrets, or units even, to push through these walls here. The reason we're back is because we got another Guardian, and it is that guy. I believe that is a Cleaver. Because that is the Apex, right? No, that's the Cleaver. I don't know what that is. Okay, well, it's the Tier 5 mech, and we've got a couple of them coming in, I believe. One of them probably just walked right to there and just took out the wall, so we probably should go fix that up. Yeah, let's go do that. Okay, it also lit my lignite on fire down there, but we can deal with that later. This guy is probably going to get obliterated by our wall because the other one down here did, and I wasn't even paying attention. Let's make sure that this thing does not eat our wall. Luckily, it won't matter too much because this thing's going to get obliterated once that shield goes down. Boom! You see our little sniper thing? I totally forgot the name. Verite just popped the shield off that thing. Absolutely beautiful. Yep, that thing's getting smoked. It's dealing some damage, but it's getting smoked. Yep, and then once it got in range of the water, you could see the DPS just increased by so much. All right, well, there we go. That did not get too far in. And once we got to the billow, then that is when it started dying. Now, I honestly might just want to take out one of these Cavaliers and put a billow up here. Yeah, there we go. We can get a water go into this billow. That will make sure the enemies are hosed down early and then take way more damage to the shock, which is exactly what we want. All right, I'm probably going to go do that on the bottom down here as well. It looks like we got a billow pretty much right in place, so I'm just not worried about that. All right, more waiting. Alrighty, we are back once again. I have gone ahead and completed the Taquant Maker. We are now making some air units as well. I don't know if they're going to be useful. I don't know if this is going to even be valued because there is a Guardian approaching in 10 waves from about 4 waves ago instead of the usual 5 interval. So I have a feeling that could be something very strong. But in the meantime of setting all that up, we now have 10 apexes, which is quite a bit. And I think I'm going to attempt to push the wall in teams of 2. I'm going to line them all up over here and we're going to push 2 at a time. They're going to get through, 2 more, put through, 2 more, get through, 2 more, get through. Hopefully that will prevent this thing from absolutely obliterating all 10 of them at the same time. There we go. We do have our first Taquant, and I am also going to send that over here. I don't think I'm going to have this one be sent in on this push. I might just save up a whole bunch of those, or I'll have that one go behind the Apex, so then hopefully the Apex can soak up some damage and the Taquant can shoot some lightning in here and start destroying things. Who knows, really? All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Send in these 2 first, and then we'll wait a little bit, and then we'll send in the next ones. If we have them kind of try to dodge it, yeah, look at that. We did not take very much damage from that because we just dodged it. Okay. Send in the next couple now. As long as we get even a little bit of progress, that is all that matters. The shields are down, and that is perfect. That thing is going to start shooting soon, so we dodge it. I think my back one got clipped. Nope, I'm actually pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and take out that closing wall. That's what we're going to attempt to do here. Send in the next group. We still are getting obliterated, but we got that wall out. As long as we can get the Mender, that is all that really matters. So I think I'm just going to have them go in groups like this, and then hopefully we can actually get something going here, because I don't think this is working too good. All right, let's just send them all in. We gotta get this Mender down. Okay, we got the Mender. There's another one though, which is unfortunate. But we did get a barrier projector and a Mender down. Unfortunately, that was 11 of them. God, I mean, the thing about this is, I can see that the Concite are piercing through, and I can see that so is this, and so are the Trilux, but I can't do anything about it because it's such a tight corridor that it wouldn't matter anyway. So we kind of just have to shove our face against the wall yet again. Not really much tactics to be used here because, yeah, it's a pretty solid defense. Luckily for us, though, we do have a decent-sized hole in the wall. So if we can just punch a hole... I think we need to take care of this Draysten wall because I think it's slowing us down. So we take this out and we just march straight into here. We hit this and we try to curve around and we hit the viaduct. Because once we hit that, this will be out and then we can probably blow up a whole bunch of these things with the pressure. Is that actually full of water? I think that's full of water. Yeah, that's full of water. That's why they're shooting so fast. Okay, yeah, well, these ones don't have water, but there's more of them, which is the problem. Okay, well, I guess we are just going to wait for units yet again. Not much else I can do here. I basically just increased production of every single resource. I even overclocked the Draysten Crucible to 150% efficiency, and it's still really slow. So, yep, guess we'll just wait a little bit. This time we will have some Tequant available, and then we can see what's going on. Alrighty, we are back, wave 27, and nothing has happened except for waiting for units. We have 6 Apex and 7 Tequant, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to march all of the Apex at it at the same time, and then we are going to march all of the Tequant at it right afterwards. Hopefully there will not be pierce issues. I'm going to try to set my Apexes to go like here, and the Tequant up here. Send these in, send them in. Hopefully the Apexes will be able to take out this wall and push in a little bit and destroy the Mender, and then we can send in the Tequant kind of up towards the top to kind of clear out the rest of the area. That is the goal at least. Please stop getting stuck. It's really annoying. Alright, now let's do this. These guys are faster, so we do need to be aware of that. So once they get to maybe here, we can start sending them in as well. Have them all target that now. Wait a second, and in come the Tequant. Okay, we got that out. Let's keep going. Push for that, push for that. Push in. Let's get that missile silo out. Let's target this turret next. Get you, get you, get you. Let's get you out of here. There we go. Let's back you up. Target that. Alright. There we go. Now I'm going to set them right there, and we are going to bring the healer up. Yes, these guys are very good. Those balls of lightning do damage. Alright, well that worked out pretty well. Definitely having something tank and then having Tequant go in is probably going to be the way to go. Let's get rid of these extra turrets over here. There we go. Perfect. Now we can just start ripping and tearing, and we can even take out this first core. Now I don't know the range on this reject over here, so we're just going to kind of go for it. Alright, well there we go. That is the first core down. Let's target something over here and see what this thing actually shoots. And I might just kind of shove them face first into this wall here, and then when they start getting low, we're going to retreat them. Okay, so they're not doing too bad, and yeah, we're just going to retreat them once they start getting low. Alright, I think it's time to retreat. We have done a hefty amount of damage to that wall, so. And there is a Guardian approaching in 2 waves, and there does look to be a decent amount of enemies, but it looks like it's all just tier 1s and 2s, so I'm not super worried about it. Alright, well, our Tequant are healed up, so let's go ahead and get them going. Ooh, let's get rid of their Draysten here. That would be great. Yeah, no more ammo. We can also take out their power. Ooh, let's actually, you know what? Let's just tank it. Face first and get rid of this. Oh, that was large. Okay, well that blew up the entire power schematic. Those things are violent. We do not want them to blow up. And I did just lose one of them, because these things have extremely large range, but that's fine. You just go up here and start terrorizing everything. You can destroy this W as well. Yeah, there we go. Alright, we lost our Apex, but there is no more power left. Alright, let's try to push in our Tequant and see what happens. Alright, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Let's try to destroy this. Okay, we got one of them down. We are taking some heavy damage, but that's okay. As long as we push in here, maybe we can actually get rid of all these. Oh wow, we actually did. Huh, okay, well that wasn't too bad at all. And there goes that core. And it left us a nice core tile. How convenient. I think I'm going to leave these guys in here for a little bit. I might want to run a giant power cable all the way over there just so we can get some heals on site. And then we can redirect these other 2 guys into the defense as well, because we might as well. Well, I suppose there's no point waiting around. Let's just go ahead and ripping and tearing through the rest of this place, because, yeah, we might as well. Now, the only problem I think we're going to have is trying to get over to here. I don't think it's going to be that bad, though, because I don't think there's any more Varites. There's one down here, and that's going to be a problem, but we may be able to outrange it if we literally just sit right here and destroy that core. So I don't think that's going to be too bad. So really all we have to do is walk this way, core, walk this way, sit here, wait for boss, kill boss with destroying core. Easy peasy. Got him! Yep, there we go. That core is down. Another Guardian approaching in 10 waves. We just have a tier 5 air and probably another one down here. I'm not concerned at all. Let's just go ahead and destroy the rest of this. Now, if we are fast, we might be able to destroy this before they get to our wall, and then they will all die. All right, let's see if we can do it. Okay, everyone, go for that core, and I'm going to watch this one. This one's probably gonna die. Yep, that one's dead. Are we gonna get that core? It's gonna be... Oh, I paused. Sector captured? Oh, and it was still there. Huh, weird. And I did miss the wall blowing up, but you know what? That's okay. And it is interesting to look at the derelict Vesmonium there. That's kind of interesting. All right, well, there we go. The sector captured. I did see we unlocked some extra things on the planet map, so let's go ahead and take a look. Omega and Caldoria and Molten Heights. That's 3 new places. And Furnace Settlement. Oh, yeah, no, that's where we were. Oh, Omega is Eradication. Oh, and that is literally the last sector. Huh. Okay, well, maybe we'll be doing that next episode. This sector was pretty fun. The only annoying thing is I did have to wait, and that's probably because I decided to be an idiot instead of do things tactically. If I was smart about things, I probably would have pushed this wall instead. It is a lot larger, and there is more turrets, but they weren't water-cooled. There's a bunch more missile launchers, though, so maybe I did do it right. Well, anyways, there was a lot of waiting, there was a lot of logistics, and that is kind of the whole point of the game after all. So yeah, there we go. Great sector. Had a great time. We unlocked Draysten, and we probably should go research the project real quick, and the walls. Just because we can, and I guess we can also get the stabilizer. And we also can start some progress on the constituent, the assembler, and some of these units. And I guess we literally can just buy them. A Nectodon is the tank. X-Pound is the healer. Averse, that's what it's called. Averse is the air unit, and then Crest. There we go. Well, that is the entire research tree completed. Perfect. Oh, right, yeah, the lore. I forgot about that. Scientists rushed to reinstate the devices on Tricar and Asthosus, starting with the one on Asthosus' surface. While working on the device, it ruptured into a disastrous explosion, taking down multiple major cities nearby. To make things worse, it also hit the storage facility for the most powerful weapons of mass destruction. Millions of civilians died in the great agony, be it from the heat of the explosion or the permitted viruses from the biological weapons. Ooh, yeah, you know, if something hits your biological weapon area and it releases onto the planet, that's kind of a big deal. All right, well, but there we go. That is going to be it for this episode, and next time we are going to go after Omega to complete the Asthosus campaign. Goodbye.